Good morning, everyone. Welcome to online class. Today's class, we are going to learn Prose 7, The Dying Detective by Arthur Conan Doyle. Arthur Conan Doyle, 1859 to 1930, was a British writer best known for his detective fiction featuring the character of Sherlock Holmes, which are generally considered milestones in the field of crime fiction. Doyle wrote 46 short stories featuring the famous detective. The story is narrated by the character Dr. Watson. Originally a physician, in 1887 he published A Study in Scarlet, the first of 4 novels about Holmes and Dr. Watson. In addition, Doyle wrote over 50 short stories featuring the famous detective. The Sherlock Holmes stories are generally considered milestones in the field of fiction. His notable works include Stories of Sherlock Holmes and The Lost World. Here, fiction means imaginary story or novel. Physician means doctor. The Dying Detective. The detective Sherlock Holmes was seriously ill. He wanted to meet his assistant Watson. He asked his landlady to get him. Watson was surprised to see the condition of his master. Was Watson able to save his master? Read on to know more about the underlying story behind Holmes' sickness. The Dying Detective. Story in brief. Mrs. Hudson, the landlady of Holmes, told Watson that Holmes was dying of a dreadful disease he had contracted from Rotherhithe while working on a case. He had been sinking for 3 days without eating or drinking. He could not allow any doctor to take care of him. His face was gaunt, his eyes had the brightness of fever, and his cheeks were flushed. The disease being contagious, he did not even allow Watson, his close friend and a doctor, to come close to him. He only wanted Culverton Smith, who had the knowledge of Eastern disease, to treat him. He pretended to be sick in order to bring out the truth behind the murder of Victor Savage. While Culverton Smith was in conversation with Holmes regarding the death of Victor Savage, Holmes pleaded with Culverton Smith to cure him. Smith heard about the box and tried to take it away as it was the last evidence to prove the murder. Meanwhile, the police arrest Smith on the charge of murder. Thus, the dying detective successfully pretends to bring out the truth behind the murder. Now, take page number 189. Mrs. Hudson, the landlady of Sherlock Holmes, came to me and said, Mr. Holmes is dying, Mr. Watson. For 3 days he has been sinking and I doubt if he will last another day. He would not let me get a doctor. I told him I could not stand it anymore and would get a doctor. He replied, Let it be Watson then. Mrs. Hudson, the landlady of Holmes, informed Mr. Watson that Holmes was seriously ill. She told Watson that Sherlock Holmes had not been having his food for 3 days. He did not allow any doctor to examine him. I was horrified, for I had not heard about his illness before. I rushed for my hat and coat. As we drove back, I asked her about the details. Mr. Watson was horrified, for he had not heard about his illness before. Watson asked Mrs. Hudson about his illness. There is little I can tell you, sir. He has been working on a case down at Rotherhithe near the river, and he has brought this illness back with him. He took to bed on Wednesday afternoon and has never moved since. For 3 days, neither food nor drink has passed his lips. Why did you not call a doctor? I asked. He wouldn't have it, sir. I didn't dare to disobey him. Mrs. Hudson told Watson that Sherlock Holmes has been working on a case down at Rotherhithe near the river, and he has brought that illness back with him. From Wednesday he was on bed. He did not make a move from the bed. He had not taken food for 3 days. Mr. Watson asked her why she had not called a doctor. Mrs. Hudson replied that he wouldn't have it and she did not dare to disobey him. He was indeed a sad sight. In the dim light of a foggy November day, the sick room was a gloomy spot, but it was the gaunt face staring from the bed that brought chill to my heart. His eyes had the brightness of fever, his cheeks were flushed, and his hand twitched all the time he lay listless. Mr. Watson saw a gaunt face of Holmes. His eyes had a brightness of fever, his cheeks were flushed, and his hand twitched all the time. He lay listless. My dear fellow, I cried, approaching him. Stand back, stand right back, he cried. But why? I want to help you, I said. Certainly, Watson, but it is for your own sake. For my sake, I was surprised. I know. What is the matter with me? It is the disease from Sumatra. It is deadly and contagious, Watson. That is it, by touch. Good heavens, Holmes. Do you think this can stop me? I said, advancing towards him. If you will stand there, I will talk. If you don't, you must leave the room, said my master. I have always given in to Holmes' wishes, but now my feelings as a doctor were aroused. I was at least his master in the sick room. Holmes, I said, you are not yourself whether you like it or not. I will examine your symptoms and treat you. Holmes stopped Watson from entering his room, stating that he was suffering from a deadly disease that he got from Sumatra. When Watson tried to force himself to go near Holmes, Holmes told him that he would only allow a doctor in when he had confidence, and Watson wasn't a specialist in that field. Page number 190. If I am to have a doctor, said he, let me at least have someone in whom I have confidence. Then you have none in me. In your friendship, certainly. But facts are facts, Watson. You are a general practitioner, not a specialist of this disease. If so, let me bring Sir Japer Meek or Penrose Fisher or any other best man in London. How ignorant you are, Watson, he said with a groan. What do you know about Tarpaulin fever or Black Formoso plague? I have never heard of them, I admitted. Holmes told Watson that he was a general practitioner, not a specialist of this disease. Watson asked Holmes if he had brought Sir Japper Meek or Penrose Fisher or any other best man in London. But he refused. It might be Tarpaulin fever or Formosa plague. There are many problems of the disease in the East. I have learned that much during my recent researches. And during this course, I caught this illness, he said. Sherlock Holmes told Watson there were many problems of the disease in the East. He had learned that much during his recent researches. And during that course, he got that illness. I will bring Dr. Aintree then, I said, going towards the door. Never have I had such a shock when the dying man bolted the door and locked it, shouting in an uncontrolled way, and in a moment he was back in his bed. Watson offers to help Holmes, but he refuses and doesn't even want Dr. Aintree to be brought. You won't have the key by 4 from me, Watson. Be here till 6 o'clock. It is 4 now. This is madness, Holmes, I said. Only 2 hours, Watson. Then you can get a doctor of my choice. You can read some books over there. At 6 we will talk again. Holmes locked the door and asked Watson to wait for 2 hours. In the meantime, he asked him to read. Holmes said that at 6 they would talk again. Watson was waiting. Remaining part we will discuss tomorrow. Thank you.